Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And on Instagram and Ravelry, you can find me as Toolizzforyou, Toolizzforyou.
Easy for you to say. And I'm usually posting as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram, and I'm cpredmor on Ravelry. And I don't think I posted anything this week.
I don't think I did either.
I have been working on my projects.
I have been too, and
Oh, and then we were painting, and I was in basically quarantine from the paint smells for 2 days, which meant I did some sleeping, because our bedroom was the quarantine point, so I could have air conditioning, or at least the fan, and open windows during the 2 days that we had really nice weather. So we were very lucky that we had
the nice weather.
The nice weather for the painting, because obviously we set up the schedule in advance, and so you never know. So on the days that it hit 70 and 65, we had windows open all over the house.
Good.
Do I still get headaches and get sick? Yes, but not as bad as it would have been. We still have residual smells. We still have a window cracked open, and we have the fan on at night.
And it's high winds.
It's high winds.
It's a little chilly in the house.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. We have to breathe. I still have pressure, but we're dealing with it.
So, as everyone should be aware, Ravelry will be removing the classic view option of the themes end of this month, end of March. If anyone still needs assistance transferring over to try Hardwick or the new, well, I'd suggest trying Hardwick.
Yeah.
Let me know. Reach out to me, Instagram or Ravelry. I'm more than happy to, chat and to try and get your account in a way that you can hopefully use it. If not, I am trying to find the patterns that we discuss off Ravelry.
You're so good.
I am. I'm trying. I'm trying to link the non-Ravelry links below. We will continue to do that as
we continue on.
Yeah, as it does not seem like it is going to be easily accessible in the near future. Nothing has been announced. So, just an update on that.
People have trouble with the colors.
With the colors, and also, I don't know if they solved the screen reader issue.
What's that?
People who use a screen reader, those who are visually impaired, were having trouble reading. The program was having trouble reading the website. Yes. So, we are endeavoring as a podcast to
help you with that.
Anything that we reference, I will keep on trying to link. If I have to link to Ravelry, I will try and make it so that it goes to the classic at least for the rest of the month. I don't know how to link it so that it shows in Hardwick.
I don't know either, because it gives you just a Ravelry.com.
Right. Well, and so you put so I will look into that more. If not, we might just, instead of including links, just be putting names and can be found on Ravelry.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people clicking on it in case it does cause issues for them.
Yeah. And before, it used to give you a specific address, which was nice.
But I
agree. I mean, you try to be as helpful as possible.
Well, yeah, and because you and I did both experience migraine symptoms, increased migraines with the
new colors.
With the new colors, and Mom and I have both had easier times with the Hardwick.
Yes, much better. For
us, and so we would just want to acknowledge that just because it's helpful for us doesn't mean it's helpful for everyone, and that it should be accessible for all. And we are trying to make sure that what we talk about and what we are linking to is not going to cause pain to our audience.
Exactly.
So that is your little tech update and reminder if you happen to be using it. Yeah. So, what have you been working on this week, Mom?
Well, I continue with my diet. I've lost another ½ pound, so that makes a total of 9 pounds.
Good.
Yes. So, I found that joining Weight Watchers again has been helpful. Am I entirely faithful? No, because on Saturday and Sunday I take a holiday. But it limits the holiday to Saturday and Sunday, which is much better. I didn't do anything really additional on my panels. I know I said I would, but I didn't. So this is where we're at, working on another of my paisleys over here.
Well,
so
I mean, I think it will be a wear next season item anyways. I think we've
certainly will be.
I think we're not going to be hitting the temperatures you would need in order to be able to comfortably wear it.
Although we all know that I sometimes am freezing in August, but no, I don't anticipate putting it on that late. But, you know, we continue working at pace. Yeah. I did think if I had a sweater that I would work on that I might pick it up, because the kind of cross stitch something and pulling the needles, it hurts.
Yeah.
The back of the hand, not the front, not the here, but the back of the hand right there and over there. The screen door bit me, so that's the Band-Aid over here. This is because we've hit cold weather again, and the thumb was splitting. You know, but
that's that dew point thing they were talking about on the weather last night.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to get to very low dew points, which means there's almost no humidity in the air.
So make sure you have your lotion at the ready, your lotion bars.
Something to drink.
Yes.
Because it's going to get dry.
Yeah. So I totally understand on that stitching thing, because I've been doing, as I showed you before we started, and I will show you, well, I have been stitching a bunch this week too. And I finished something.
My gosh.
I know. Hold on, let me get to it. It's down at the bottom. It's at the bottom of the bag.
Oh, and the other thing I did is I painted the back door. So the back door was chipping, and during one of those days, your father finally found the door paint. Sent me downstairs to find it. I couldn't find it. You know, it was all redone. Wow. A Bernie sock.
I have one Bernie sock done.
Very pretty, and it fits.
Yes.
Excellent. Moving to those bigger needles.
Yeah, so I did, as I said, ones for everywhere. Argyle. Yeah, everywhere. So this color work on the foot is in 2.5s. This color work is on 3s, and everywhere else is on 1s. I used 2.5s for the bind off, which is why it flares.
But it'll settle down once it's washed.
Settle down also because I tried to bind it off in the 1s and it was just too tight on my calf. And we're not living that life. So now it's super stretchy, and stretches out as much, if not slightly further than the color work, which is good. So I finished that and I started the second one.
Very nice.
But yes, and while you were painting the back door, I was doing this. And because of that, so the size 1s plus my stitching.
Yes.
I needed something on bigger needles. My hands needed something.
Sweater rather than the gloves, because the gloves are on smaller needles. Yeah. So I can see why I keep having those gloves, you know, keep going on and on. So I'm thinking I may start working on the, I want to call it Philadelphia, but that's
1600 pen?
Thank you. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. It was all wrapped around my head. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue sweater, again, as a set-off from the needlework. So I've done a lot on my needlework. A lot. A ton.
Let's see.
A ton.
Oh, it looks so good.
I only have this little piece here left to go to finish this half.
Wow.
You can see I've extended. I've done more of this green tree.
Yeah.
And extended past it. Once I finish filling in this, and what I'm doing to fill in these pieces is I'm pulling the color that's maybe for 3 or 4 stitches here, and then it's used over here someplace. So I'm using up that length of thread. It's like over here, you know, or here, or, you know, so I'm finding a home for it. So this little part isn't getting filled up as fast as when you have like entire swaths of sky.
Right.
But
It'll slowly fill in?
It'll slowly fill in. And so when I finish the length of thread, then I go back and I look, okay, what square do I need to finish over here? And then I start, pulling the color for, what goes next. So, for example, what I'm working with right now, I believe are W's. And this particular color is a black thread and a green thread held together. So I can imagine that there'll be more of them over here and, interspersed throughout. So when I finish this little piece right there, there's 6 more stitches that I have to do right there with that. I'll then look up in this patch and see if it fits in anywhere there. And if that's no, then I look for where in the rest of the picture it goes.
Nice.
I have had one color that it didn't, I used up what was left over here and still had more on the needle. So what I'm doing, I don't have the instruction sheet, but I pull it, I shove the needle through the instruction sheet by the color code and leave it hanging there.
Yeah.
So I know I have that as a leftover if I do find that I need it somewhere. So, for example, down around here I found one stitch that I had omitted. But I went to my color sheet and I had actually saved a piece of it. So I was able to lock it, do the stitch, and then relock it, and it was done and it was in the proper stitch. So really quite nice. I have been using mail came today. These are the heat erasable pens. Nice. And I have to say, I haven't tried heat erasing them because I'm only putting them either where they are past the needlework or where they'll be under the needlework. But then I'm fairly sure that if they happen to show through, I'll be able to do something with them. So I've just got them today.
Well, you will be ironing this piece.
I will be ironing this. So. I'm really quite pleased with it. And yeah, so it's moving along. I really have felt drawn to this. I showed it to my brother-in-law yesterday who came down from New Hampshire, and he was kind of looking at what was I doing. I said, Lake Como. He goes, oh! And then he says, but the colors aren't on the fabric. I went, no, the colors are not on the fabric. He goes, oh my gosh, that's hard. I said, well, you have to count. And I have found
and sometimes counting is very difficult, which is why we've discovered gridding.
Yes. And so now I have alphabet across the top and numbers up from the bottom. So the plan is to finish the sky, once I finish this, to finish then the sky down to about here, because then I can roller this up and get the bottom part, which hasn't been done.
No, but it's good to complete one part.
But yes, so this way I can move this, and I've done the bottom part over here. So we'll move this up and move this kind of a little bit over so that I can then get to a whole swath of things that haven't been done, and it will be easily available. So I'm actually moving quite faster now that I have gotten a much larger frame. It's not ungainly at all. Actually, one of the reasons I didn't go to it immediately was I thought it would be ungainly, but it's not.
Yeah, I think my frame I'm using for my big piece is about the same size.
I think it's exactly the same size.
Yeah.
I could have used slightly longer sides by about 5 inches, but oh well.
The options would have been 3 or 6, and I don't know if you have enough fabric to roll on
maybe
6.
3.
Yeah.
And then I still would have had to roll it over. So this is working out just fine, and it is moving apace. I mean, I'm so excited that maybe by next week I will have finished the first half.
That'd be amazing.
And it feels
looking really
good
great
to be working on it. My brother-in-law said, so are you taking out the gridding as you go? I said, well, I took out the gridding in the sky once I got past that because it was really like in your face in the lighter part of the sky. As it is, and I tried taking it as I went along, but then if I found I had a mistake, then I had no gridding to go back to. So I'm going to wait until I finish this, and then I'll take out the gridding.
You might end up having to cut a lot of it out.
Well, that's okay.
I'm just saying it might be a bit more of a delicate process.
Yes. Oh, that's absolutely true. And I have my
your very
pullers
little
someplace.
Oh yes, here. Yes. You do have your like forceps.
I have my forceps.
Yes.
That I can use to help. I think they're downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
To help me with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I am in total quite pleased. Did I tell you I found another cross stitch downstairs?
No.
Yes. So we went to the dump yesterday.
I was going to say, you found it. Did you bring it up here with you?
Yes.
Is it over there somewhere?
I think it's over there. I may have put it in the bin. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's Victorian houses. 3 Victorian houses. And I found, there it is. That thing.
I remember this.
So I found that.
Is it mine or yours?
Well, it's been living here.
It's someone's.
Obviously, we got it at a yard sale because it's only $6.
Or the Episcopal ladies in...
Could be. So...
Avalon. Or Cape May.
Victorian houses. So it was over by the...
That one's really cute.
And then I also found a needlepoint grid for a rose, a beautiful blooming rose. So anyway, that'll go in the embroidery box. And then so nothing new has been bought. And the reason I found it, it was on top of my permanent pattern, plastic permanent pattern for clothes. I decided to throw them out. I haven't really used them since I bought them. I've had them for over 30 years.
Yeah, I'd say your shape has probably changed.
Oh, no. These move. These are adjustable.
Oh.
Adjustable all over. But, you know, I hadn't used them. If I want them again, I'll just buy them again.
Or we can just learn pattern drafting a bit better.
A bit better. And we have
Kenneth
King's
videos. We also have a ton of books. There's now a bunch of like the historical YouTubers we watch.
And we have our French curves. I have 2 or 3 French curves.
I've got at least 2 at the apartment.
So we are well stocked with the equipment.
And we have the gridded mats.
Yes, we do.
So we can
anyway, we're in fine shape. I had 3 big cardboard boxes that were filled with that. And so they went to the dump. The big tent went to the dump.
Oh, yes, we are never going to.
We're not going to put that up.
No.
And then because of the sailboat. If it's nice enough to put the big outdoor tent up with the retractable sides, it's a nice day to go sailing. So, yeah. It was very useful the 2 summers that I put it up, and especially when we have the office open, because then Marlon and I would go outside and eat in the tent, at lunchtime, and it was really very nice.
Yes.
But it's not needed anymore.
No.
Out it went. So there was a trip to the dump. I've been painting. I've been scrubbing floors. You've been
doing a lot.
A lot of spring cleaning, making us look like real people. So that's nice. So the house is sprucing up slowly but surely. Yes.
So this week I got my pre-gridded fabric for the Tamora Pierce stitch along. So
Very
I started. The frame has already been released. The rest of the pattern will be released weekly, starting in I think June or July. Links are below. And so I started the frame. It will in the end go down to here about on here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish. This is only it's 1 cross of the cross stitch from here to here, and there are both sides here and here. You can tell because they're slightly darker. What?
I don't understand.
So I started by just getting the full length, and I went down with 1 X, with one side of the X. And then I decided to fill in this little jagged piece because it's supposed to look like kind of like a distressed wood frame.
I see. Okay.
So there's like a hole over here and there's a hole like over here. So I decided then to fill in full X's the little bottom off piece. Because I was doing this late on Friday night.
But decided not to continue up.
And I didn't want to screw that up by only doing half stitches. So I did full stitches. And then what I did was I filled in the rest of the width of this in half stitches, and then I had extra thread up at the top, so then I went back to do the second, so that all I have to do now is I can do it at any time of day, is fill in the rest of this piece. So that's a clue or a trick of mine when you have large swaths of a color, is to figure out its dimension, especially with things that are like a 4 by 70, I think this ends up being. So you just make sure it's a 6 by 70 stitches. So just do it in the halves so that you know and you can see it and you can count and you can make sure it's right, and then go back. And fill it in. So I think I'll fill it in, and then I think I'm going to go across the top.
I think that's a good idea.
And define the next most of the top, I think, is the plan for me. And then I will finish this little bottom part. Because it ends up being, I think in the end it will be, it's 5. Yeah, so it's going to be 9 inches. 9 inches by, I think, 18 or 19 inches across.
So actually, once you pull it up, you should be able to finish. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, so I started on this. I have caught up on my Peppermint purple stitch along, the Blackwork stitch along, which I'm really enjoying. This corner one, I thought was going to be, I know, it's so pretty. And I thought it was going to be super complicated to do. I ended up doing this horizontal piece, then this vertical piece, and then doing the details around them, like in a kind of counterclockwise fashion, around and around and around until I got to the middle. And it worked out really well. And I have found with a lot of these, if I'm not sure where to start, if I just start somewhere, I'll figure it out by the time I finish that row or that quadrant or, whatever. So I am excited.
I think quadrant by quadrant is helpful. And as I said, I've attacked my cross stitch in a number of different ways. Trying to do just the line across, just the row, and then that left me with a lot of different threads, and I was getting confused because I couldn't remember the symbols for the different threads. So then I went to take a thread, take a color, and do all of that in that area, and then take it and move it to someplace else. And if you don't want to do that, then stick it by your color row.
Well, because I think with this, sometimes you're not sure if it's going to be linear, or if it's easier to do it in more of a circular, or if it's easier to do it in, like this one, with each of these corner diamonds, and then you fill in the middle, This one was the most recent one, and I just went along in lines, almost. And that one's fun because it's actually, if you do it in the whole bean stitch, it's completely reversible.
Yes. Very nice.
Which I thought was super fun. So I did that, and as you saw, I put the little borders on. And I have tower and another start to a building here on my Hawaii.
Pier?
No, it's a building.
Oh, okay.
So my next plan is there's a palm tree over here. So I think I'm going to do the palm tree over here and move down. And then this is like the bottom quadrant. And it's its own separate page. So I think I'm going to try and complete that bottom page, and then I'll move up and over here and then over into the other 2 pages. But I think getting maybe the bottom 2 pages, getting those done is a good move. But yeah.
I love the colors.
I know, it's good colors. I think it'll look, I mean, it's looking really nice.
Yes. And very Hawaiian.
Yes.
Very Hawaiian.
I've worked on that. You saw the socks.
Hawaii has been having some very difficult weather. They've been having floods.
Yeah.
So for anybody who's been affected by the floods, please look to be safe. Boil water if necessary. Follow the state recommendations, because they've had anywhere, I think Hilo was having 19 inches of rain in one day,
word.
so it was just bucketing down.
And I cut the black knit fabric for my next pair of joggers.
Very nice.
Which I meant to, like, try and get together to sew this weekend. But that didn't happen.
No.
And then
It's like a swatch.
It was. So, this is my 1600 pen.
Okay.
And this is held with the Surrey Alpaca from Ocean Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to do a daydreamer out of it. But you kind of can't see the pattern.
You can't at all.
Yeah. Can't see the stitch pattern down there, really. So, there's no
It's
point.
tweeted.
Yeah, there's no point in doing that. And then I was like, well, what if I did just the pen? And I don't love it as much. And I don't love it. So there is another pattern that is currently, has a call out for testers that I think would look lovely in it. So I have applied, and I will let you know if I am accepted, to use the 1600 pen. But this is to show you that sometimes you have to, or you should swatch.
Swatch is a good idea.
Sometimes you should swatch because you never know when something just won't work. As also evidenced by my Aunt Fred.
Right. Oh, here it is.
And so, upon doing that, because I was going to cast that on this week. And I was, like, so ready to do it, and it was going to be awesome. Because I was like, yes, I know. So I know I have my Love Witch on the needles. The problem is that's black.
It's tough at night.
And it's tough to knit black at night.
Very tough. Unless you have one of those big lamps like I have.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yes.
But I'm thinking, there are other things that are happening. So I do want to get back to knitting that, but I have to. And now with daylight savings time, I might be able to knit more of it because there will be more daylight hours after work.
Yes.
Which would be good. But instead, I picked up some yarn that a friend of mine gave me, the red and the gray from my love note, my gray mohair, and I cast on the Earth and Sky by James Watts, and it's a brioche sweater, and it's going along pretty quickly. I think I've got
soft and
yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I think it'll be really good for this like transitional time between winter and spring and summer. And I've already got 6 inches out of about 10 that the pattern says. I'm thinking I'm going to go for my forearm because my forearm is about 11 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about right for a cropped sweater on me, even with jeans. And then it also makes it so that I can measure it when not having a measuring tape around. Which is fun for me.
Yes.
But yeah, I cast this on because I wanted something on bigger needles.
For me, bigger needles are size 4 and 5, maybe 6.
I mean, I just needed something that wasn't.
Yeah, well, exactly, and I understand, which is why I haven't gone back to the Swedish mittens.
So
the Norse mittens.
Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. It's a lot. Oh, and I have others. I forgot. I also have been working on that blanket for my other friend.
We delivered one blanket today.
I did. So this is the start of another blanket.
I love that.
I know. So
love that.
I am excited about it. It is also from that. Hold on, what the heck just happened here?
They're
in love.
They are.
They're in love.
They're friends. They want to be together.
This is from the 60 Quick Baby Blankets book. It is, if I can get to it. Is it this one? Is it this one? Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's called Good Vibrations.
Very pretty.
And I really like it so far. We will see how, so right now it calls to do the border strips each as one separate thing and then sew them together. Y'all know we're just going to be picking up and knitting.
Right.
So.
Nice.
Yeah, I really
Very
like it.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Very
It should go very well.
So, remember we
Yes.
spoke about taking my baby alpaca and making a baby sweater for my grandniece.
Yes.
And we said, we'll knit a swatch and we'll throw it in the washer and see what happens.
Yes.
This is what happened. This had been 4 inches, a 4-inch square. Had been. It felted. And
that's not even through the dryer.
no, this is just through the washer. So, obviously, we're not going to use the baby alpaca for a baby sweater. And this really does illustrate, why you do this kind of testing. And secondarily, why you wouldn't give baby alpaca to a baby, because they get into things.
Mm-hmm.
Things get on them.
You never know.
You
never know when a diaper explosion is going to happen.
You don't know.
Never know when they're going to spit up.
Or spit out.
Mm-hmm.
Those carrots, beets, all that kind of stuff on something that can't go through the washer would not be good. And in fact, the people that you gave blanket to today were very happy that you said it went through the washer on hot.
Yes.
So,
washer and dryer, yes.
Yes. So not making the baby sweater in that. I'll have to think about. I haven't even started doing the math. I really had all focus on the counter cross stitch, which I'm pretty pleased with at the moment, because I'm able to keep an eye on what's going on and really move forward. So this monogamousness that I like.
Oh my goodness.
Monogamy. I love. So that is working out well. So that's kind of being fitted in with my spring cleaning.
Well, that's good.
Which really is attacking each room. Oh, I washed the walls in the bathroom.
I'm impressed.
They were dusty. Went a bit after the radiators, and
you're just going at it.
So we're going to be very clean.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I'm trying to think what else is in. I didn't really work on my Pengweeno for another little one because I have the pattern on my iPad, and I've been using my iPad to watch things a lot recently. So that has been kind of an issue in that respect.
Yes, it can be.
But I realized, Monday and Tuesday was a bit exhausted just from work, and then I had video calls with people Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right. So then I usually do those on my iPad. So that kind of
takes away the pattern.
But other than that, that's all I've been doing. I've been doing a lot, but not a lot on each thing, it feels like. But it also feels like I've got some good momentum moving forward, which is nice.
That's good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be all colder, windy, and rainy this week, so hopefully I can keep that momentum going.
Indoor weather.
Hopefully I can keep that momentum going with my projects. Yeah, I'm just.
Well, my intent is to close that little bit in that half, and then do the sky and be able to roll it, and then have the rest of what's undone in front of me, and I think that will be a real move forward.
And we want to acknowledge that it has been a year.
Yes.
Since COVID was declared a pandemic and the stay-at-home orders were first instated. Vaccines are being rolled out, but it's still slow. We acknowledge that it's still hard because I know I'm hitting a wall everywhere. Except for my crafting, apparently. Except I've been bouncing from project to project. Well,
I understand that Richard and I had the Moderna shot, and both of us had after effects. Certainly better than being on a ventilator, but Richard has neuropathy, and it hit his neuropathy pretty hard. So he had 3 days where he was in pain, serious pain. The nerves were firing like crazy. And he didn't want to slow down. So he was at war with himself. And I don't think he was helping himself. But please be aware that you can have after effects. Not everybody does, but you can have them. We also, there's this huge snowstorm, or a big storm, crossing the United States. It has brought tremendous amounts of snow, shutting highways. Please, everybody, be safe. I understand that the weather system may be hitting New York by midweek. We'll see.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
So there's been snowstorms, there's been tornadoes. Please keep an ear to the radio or whatever news station or modality you pay attention to in case you need to get to your storm cellar or something like that. We're experiencing anywhere from 30 mile an hour to 60 mile an hour winds here on Long Island. And at 60 miles an hour, a branch comes loose, it can be a widowmaker. So please be careful. And other than that, the Grammys are on tonight.
Which, I mean,
And my husband was looking through the TV section of the newspaper this morning. There are a ton of shows that are being played in opposition to the Grammys, and I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah. So we will see what that brings. But also, you know, we acknowledge that this past year's been hard. It's been hard for us too. You see us every week, but you don't see the text messages that get sent between us when things are hard.
Right, and I've been lucky in that I scheduled surgery this year. So for me, I was more constrained by my leg than I would have been normally. So some of the restrictions for me were actually very helpful. I wasn't tempted to do more than I could. This year, I can do a heck of a lot more, and it's a matter of more just getting more and more in shape. Certainly with all of the running around I did on Thursday and Friday, my calves were screaming at me yesterday and today. So obviously, a lot more walking has to be done. Now that the ice is gone from around the block, I can go back to my mile plus walking, but I wasn't about to go out when there's ice on the ground.
Good.
Yes. And the bike will probably go in to be repaired this week. The gears are slipping. So we had a conference with your uncle who does a lot of biking. Says, yeah, take it to the guy, and the guy will fix it. I said, words to live by.
Yes.
So the bicycles will be fixed. We'll first get one, then the other, because he asked me, so how do you like that collapsible bicycle? I said, I love it, except the gears are slipping. So we will get it fixed.
So yeah, so just wanted to, you know, remind you that it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
And also it's okay to not be, what are you looking at?
No, I was looking, there was a space in my bookshelf. I was trying to figure out, and it fell on the floor.
I pulled it because I thought it was resting on top of the stitch bag.
Got it.
It's okay to not be okay, and it's also okay to not be functioning or doing all the things you were doing this time last year.
It's been a hard year. I know when it started, my mother would call me up and say, how long do you think this is going to last? I'd say, Mom, a year. Maybe a year and a half. You know, hunker down, get some projects in. This is going to be a long haul. And for 6 months, she kept asking me, so how long do you think this is going to last? I went, it's going to be a year. It's going to be at least a year. And just think, your mother dealt with this back in the 1920s. So she can do it, you can do it. And after a while, she has gotten into the whole swing of things, and she goes out with her mask.
We hope.
We hope. We don't know, really.
She says it. We're not checking because that's not conducive to our mental health in any way, because she is currently outside of D.C. and we are in New York, and we cannot go and, you know,
but my one brother is very COVID aware. Rob is quite COVID aware, and he speaks to her every night.
Okay, so good.
It's possibilities that things are going well.
Yes.
She hasn't been sick. So.
Yeah, and she's gotten her second shot.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So.
But I just want to remind you.
She will have all of her antibodies, I think, by this coming Tuesday.
Yeah. But I just wanted to remind you, because I have had to be reminded myself recently, that it's okay to not be okay. And it's also okay to not be the same person you were a year ago.
The experiences treat you differently.
That's true of almost every year that passes, but specifically this year. I'm knitting more, but I'm not. I just said I was exhausted by going into the office 2 days this past week. I was going into the office 5 days a week and working one Saturday or Sunday a month. at my last project, which was a year ago.
You know,
and so that's a
back up to
totally
speed.
different, you know, but I wanted to let people know that it's okay.
It is.
And that, you know, this is going to take a while to just get over, and not just in the having a vaccine type of way.
No, and a lot of us may still wear masks for a while because the flu was much less this year, probably because most of us were masked up.
Well, and I think having a mask if you have flu symptoms will be
Or
a good...
Not if you have flu symptoms, but walking around with it during flu season.
During flu season, I think would be good. Yeah. I think that'll be a good change to our society. And will keep you from getting pneumonia as often.
Yes.
Which, if you couldn't tell, is a high priority in this family.
Pneumonia's not fun.
No. Especially when your mother has it multiple times. Yeah, it's
just
scary.
not fun.
So with that, I think we're going to weave in some ends.
Yes, we are.
And we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.